Welcome to episode 18 of the Purposefully Profitable Podcast. It's Tips and Techniques Tuesday, and I'm your host, Russ Barnes, CEO and founder of Systro, Systems, Strategies, and Organization. And we have one focus, helping you become profitable on purpose. Each day, we focus on a different aspect of systems, strategies, or organization that will enable you to do one thing, make money with your company. Let's get started. Today's tip: put people before product, process, and paperwork. As small business owners wearing every hat, it's easy to become overwhelmed. If this happens to you, then remind yourself that being in business is all about people. As a business owner, you solve other people's problems and relieve their pain, and in the process, you earn a profit for delivering more in use value than you collect in cash value. Having limited resources means you often have to make trade-offs. In this instance, it's good to have taken the time to prioritize, and the most successful and profitable business owners put people before product, process, and paperwork. As a small business owner, the two categories of people you must care about most are customers and employees. Customers are in the first category because they are why your business exists. It's their money that pays your bills. Every time you delight a customer, you strengthen your reputation and build an ambassador. If you make a mistake, make it right. You learn two things when your customer calls with a problem. One, where you can improve, and two, what the customer cares about. You should find ways to delight the customer with a solution, and then modify your business practices to ensure that none of your other customers suffer from the same problem. If your focus is on your product, and you believe that it is the customer's fault for not reading instructions, or for trying to take advantage of you, or for doing something else that led to the failure, you might be right. But in this case, you can be right or you can be rich. This is not to say that you won't run into people who will intentionally try to take value without providing value in return. But I have only my experience to assure you that the percentage of these people is small. In businesses where I have worked one-on-one with people, the percentage has been less than 1%. I made it my practice to learn from them, so in the future, I would be able to see their type coming a mile away. I eventually learned to tell from the questions someone asked whether they were sincere or whether they were looking for a way to get something for nothing. In one of my business ventures, a dead giveaway was when someone would say, "Show me how good you are, and if you do a good job on this, then I'll use my connections to bring you a lot of business." That sentence alone told me that this individual would be unwilling to pay. This sentence was code for, "I want you to do your best work for me, but I'm not going to pay you." If I was too eager to go after the supposed big payday in return for the free work, then I would end up with nothing. I would ask this person to pay me a small portion up front, and they would most often refuse, letting me off the hook without prematurely shutting down a deal. You might work into your strategy a certain amount of free samples. Just be purposeful about who you offer and why you are doing it. The customer who does intend to bring other customers wouldn't tell me about it up front because they wanted to see my true attitude and the way I actually deliver value, not some special effort intended to impress. In many cases, these customers wouldn't tell me when they had referred me to their community of trusted friends and associates. People will refer you if they think that you will treat the people in their inner circle very well and in the process make them look good. I also learned that people who complained about price were most likely going to be the most demanding customer and the least likely to pay fair value. People care most about what something costs when they don't have any money. If you intend to be purposefully profitable, avoid becoming a commodity. For anyone who is not sure what I mean, and I'm sure most of you do know what I mean, when you become a commodity, you can only compete on price. And this is a downward spiraling strategy where no one wins. Even the customer loses because people get what they pay for. And if you feel taken advantage of in your work, it will be nearly impossible for you to provide your very best product. Given these customer concerns, it's important to set your personal policy for customer satisfaction. I made it a point in my business to guarantee 100% customer satisfaction. Of course, I was counseled on many occasions that this was an impossible goal and I would never make it in business because some people will never be pleased. But my commitment to 100% customer satisfaction enabled me to improve my product through the crucible of the most difficult customers. They pushed me to find ways to do what I did in a better way. And just like the number of customers I encountered who were seeking something for nothing, the number of unreasonable customers I encountered was also less than 1%. If I found that it was impossible to please the customer and it was due to my inability to deliver the product, then first of all, I could eliminate that product from future offerings to other customers. I could refund the customer's money or ask them what could be done to fulfill our contract. Most people were thrilled that I even asked. The way word of mouth works is, whatever you do to delight a customer will result in that customer sending people like him or her to you. So if you do difficult work at a low price, then you are likely to attract more difficult work at the same low price. If you do easy work at a high price and your customer is delighted, then you will attract more easy work at a high price. Keep in mind that what is easy to you might not be so easy for others, and don't place a monetary value on your work based on what you would pay. Let the market set your prices. Your value is worth what people are willing to pay you. If no one wants to pay you, take a look at the problem you're solving and whether there is enough pain to inspire people to pay. Even if people are seeking pleasure, there is a procurement pain that is associated with that pursuit. Even if people are seeking pleasure, there is a procurement pain that is associated with that pursuit. Employees are in the second category because they help you deliver your product or service in a way that delights your customer, or doesn't. Your employees can and should be ambassadors for your company. If they are unhappy, they will consciously or unconsciously sabotage your profitability. Perhaps you're thinking, why would they do that? If I fail, then they're out of a job and they won't even have the pittance that I pay them. Studies show that people will leave a job because of the way they're treated, regardless of pay. So if you have someone over a barrel because they need the income and you take advantage of them, then the resulting behavior may not be intentional, but it will definitely not be what you want. Because people still care about fair. Although many of us grew up hearing our parents say, life is not fair, get over it. Our natural sense of outrage when we witness unfairness doesn't go away because someone told us to get over it. Fair is also in the eye of the beholder. We may think we're being fair only to find out that we are actually being fair only to ourselves. A good indicator is if people around you are outraged, perhaps you need to review your practices. One way to determine if your employees are pleased is to ask them. If they tell you that they are not, this is a tremendous learning opportunity. Find out why. It might be an easy fix or it might be difficult. But people are your product and profit. And if you fear finding out that you are unfair, then your days are numbered. The head in the sand approach will suffocate you. The second best way to determine if your employees are pleased is to look at the turnover rate in your company. People will vote with their feet. You may consider them to be lazy and ungrateful, but if you put yourself in their shoes, would you stay? Pleased employees are people who will represent your company with contagious enthusiasm and who will be a source of solutions if they believe you will listen. In summary, here are 5 key points from today's Tips and Techniques Tuesday. 1. Put people before product, process, and paperwork. 2. Take care of customers and employees both, and in that order. 3. Don't become a commodity. Business is a value for value exchange. 4. Know, appreciate, and recognize the value of your employees. They are not tools. 5. Delight customers and enthusiastic employees will produce profitability. This has been another Tips and Techniques Tuesday with your host, the Profitability Professor, Russ Barnes. If you have questions or feedback, please forward them to russ@systro.org. We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to the Purposefully Profitable Podcast today so that you will not miss a single episode. And thank you for listening.